Welcome to HubSpot, the podcast for busy marketers looking to get more leads and sales. Discover the latest from the world of content marketing and social media. Here are your hosts from the Kingdom, San Johnson and Adam Steinhardt.
Welcome back, everybody. It's been a long time and fantastic to have you back. San Johnson here on Hub and Spoke, episode 47. It's 9 months after episode 46.
Look, 46 was pretty good. We had to have a bit of a break.
It took a lot of energy out of us.
It did. Wow, I'm beat. So here we are, back again. Exciting times.
And I really appreciate the constant reminders we got from the audience saying, where have you guys gone?
I know.
Whilst there wasn't a lot of feedback, we felt it. We felt your hearts and minds on our side there. So thanks for that. So let's get stuck into the show now. Wonderful things have happened to the HubSpot platform since we took a leave of absence.
Yes.
So what's been your favourite thing or things you've discovered since July last year when episode 46 hit the airwaves?
Wow, question without notice, like 9 months' notice.
9 months to prepare. Now's the moment.
That's funny. Look, I think I've talked about this before, but the one aspect of the tool.
Well, I'm like a brand new audience. I can't remember what we've talked
about.
Well,
no, I'm fairly confident we have talked about this, but this is probably an area that affects my day-to-day role at the moment. So I'm going to talk about the ads add-on.
The ads add-on, yeah, fantastic.
And the audience creation and the fact that you can now build audiences and use them in Facebook ads.
It's interesting, isn't it, that when obviously we've had a bit of time off doing other things and you sit down and say what has changed in HubSpot that has a big impact, and there's so much that's changed. Yet
Absolutely.
That's actually a really good choice, though, because the audience remarketing part of Facebook just getting bigger and bigger every single day, and that is certainly a feature which, when you see it, it's elegant, it makes our jobs easier, it shows the power of Facebook advertising. And, you know, I think Google AdWords has been around for 15 years, still really powerful, but Facebook's just dominating. And this was a common theme before we did decide to go completely off the reservation for a long period.
Well, and, you know, I don't mean to seem simplistic in my choice of that tool, but one of the significant time-saving factors of that introduction of the audience creation is that in the past, I would have had to download a CSV file and upload it every time I wanted to run a new set of ads because new people would have come into my funnel, for example. Whereas now it syncs automatically. So it really is significant time-saving. And it just gives that beautiful closed loop. You can see which people are clicking on ads and when they become customers and just all that beautiful HubSpot conversion.
So I guess, I mean, it is a paid add-on.
It is.
$100 a month. But it's fair to say that if you are running Facebook ads, it's absolutely priceless, isn't it?
Oh, without question of a doubt. It's probably one of the most beneficial parts of the tool, I would say.
Yeah, and so we are seeing... So just let me ask a couple of questions. I don't spend my day on that tool, but we do see the clicks on the timeline, don't we? So if somebody clicks on a Facebook ad,
absolutely.
you see the ad, and you can then drill down on the tool right down to that ad, can't you?
Yeah, and so it's a property in the timeline,
Fantastic,
so that you can then go and actually make lists and do some reporting based on that.
Yeah, that's a great tool, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I have seen you really show off, training sessions we give to customers, the power of it. And, we've been able to determine things like, 8 times benefits over Google AdWords in some cases, in some businesses.
That's
Facebook
right.
is smashing it.
And useful for lots of different industry types. So, if you've got an e-commerce platform, remarketing is just an absolute no-brainer.
Absolutely, yeah.
So if you've got the ads add-on, you can really start to make some significant inroads. And in my experience, the cost per click on a Facebook ad versus some actual remarketing with a known audience is significantly cheaper. I've seen it down as low as like 7 cents a click.
Wow, that is unbelievable. 7 cents a click. And, a lot of people talk about, or perhaps have been a fraction upset about it, even though these days I think businesses are more used to the fact that Facebook's very much a pay-to-play platform. It's worth it. That's nothing wrong with being pay to play when it's worth it, is it?
That was a very categorical yes answer.
Yeah,
it's worth it.
It's worth it. Excellent. Okay.
Because you're worth it. Excellent. So what about you, Adam? What are you loving? What's your big soft spot for?
Yeah, look, We've obviously had some time, and reporting is more important than ever before. Really, really important. So in needing to build reports for customers, we've gone ahead and really looked at a lot of things. And the way now that they've revamped the analytics section and the sources, and I really like the plan here, because what HubSpot's clearly doing is creating modularized reports that can all be easily added to the dashboard. And as a result of that, you're able to control what you're seeing via the dashboard easier. And so the sources report, for example, in the new advanced analytics tools is a really good one. And that quickly adds to the dashboard. We can build out dashboards. We can have those dashboards emailed in the morning whenever we feel like to the powers that be. And I found them a lot easier to work with. Now, the reporting side of things hasn't always been super brilliant. And there are a couple of things which have been left behind in the very old reports tool. So that the old reporting tool is still there. And that's important because that allows us to report on lists.
Yes.
So that's a tool we use all the time to report on list performance. So those, I like the way it's headed. Obviously, HubSpot in the last 9 months has had a huge revamp of interface. The user interface has changed just about across the entire tool. Now, they were doing that when we were last on the air back in July.
I think we were calling it Azure and Aperol, weren't we?
That's right.
Yeah.
So it's really, really taken off, the Aperol Azure, and rightly so. Azure Aperol look is everywhere.
Pleasing to the eye.
Yeah, every week you wake up, there's a new part of the tool that's been revamped. Yeah. So, and look, I know that when we visit the dungeon and speak to the programming team, super excited about the new design COS, the former COS tools in the background there.
Yes.
Very exciting. And look, I really like the way that's headed with the whole, because there's going to be a marketplace at some stage. There's going to be a marketplace which allows us to take our coding widgets and sell them or give them away. And that's, I see that on the horizon. That is really exciting.
Exciting times for the coders out there.
Yeah, the coders are very happy.
Of which I'm not one. Happy to put my hand up there.
Okay, cool.
Despite being forced to train on it.
Oh my God, let's not go back there. Okay, so all right, so lots have evolved.
Lots has evolved.
A few other little things which we're pretty excited about.
Looking forward, and we might touch on this in episode 48.
Hopefully not in 2019. We might get it out before then.
The Shopify integration, isn't that
brilliant.
Just the most exciting thing to ever hit the
universe?
universe?
That's super exciting.
Can't wait.
Yeah, and that's that's a natural. It's definitely a glove that fits beautifully on the HubSpot hand,
doesn't it?
Yeah.
Wow, listen to you. That's not something I've heard you say before.
I've had a long time to think of new things
Your
to say.
little cliche.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's a really exciting thing, and
it's
obviously,
gonna be good.
E-commerce goes so well with the HubSpot remarketing tool and the ability to send emails and really deep dive into the list tool.
Yeah, I think we're
We've
going to
been
see
creating some lists since we last spoke.
Gosh. Whew.
Yeah, the list
Love
tool.
a list.
Yeah, love a list.
Always have, always will.
And perhaps on that point, one of the things we've got a lot better at, and this is a recommendation to agencies out there or to people who are working in the tool, knowing they're going to be busy, use folders. Make sure you use folders. We've got much better at that.
Yeah, naming protocols and looking at a little bit of consistency through your list names too, because the way you name a list and the way I name a list might be completely different. So if we actually have a bit of a system, it's a lot easier to read.
Yeah, super important, and particularly if you're dealing with enterprise or enterprise has different domains, of course.
Yep.
And so different brands in operation inside the one portal. We like to put a square bracket enclosure as a tag before each thing we do throughout the entire portal. The number of times that saves us, super important to do that.
Absolutely.
And the use of folders, it's so tempting. Look, I know we often drop the ball here. We just go and make a list because we're so excited about what the outcome is. But using folders in lists, got to do it.
Yeah, and then Friday rolls around and we have a little housekeeping moment and we go and sort all our lists into our folders, like good little inbound marketers that we are.
Very, very good. Okay, #girlboss. That hasn't gone away. In
fact,
and
why should it? So mine is a #girlboss that is.
So for those that are new listening, perhaps, or forgotten what
new
it was all
listeners,
about.
Yeah. If I was in charge of the world, this
HubSpot,
is.
If you're in charge of HubSpot.
HubSpot.
Oh, we changed it to the world, didn't we?
Well, I'm going with the world.
Great, good idea. #girlboss.
So I'm going to paint a little picture.
Great.
You're a business and you have HubSpot.
Yep.
And you are thundering along, think you're doing really, really well,
Yep.
Then all of a sudden you have a look at your analytics and you're starting to see your Aperol Spritz line start to dive.
The
And
worst
you
day
think,
ever.
wow, what's going on here? So my #GirlBoss suggestion is, and this is totally stealing your thunder because it is your idea from many moons ago and we trot it out every now and again in a training course, but it is to actually get your staff in a room and put pen to paper and start to make some new, fresh content.
Yes.
Always be making new content. So take a look at what's worked in the past, what's had a lot of views, what hasn't had a lot of views. Is it worth rewriting a piece that hasn't had anything? And anything that has worked, is there a way that you can write another piece about a similar topic, not necessarily replicating it, but just touching on points that you've made or expanding out?
Yeah, well, this goes to the core of HubSpot, the clusters, which will be, and it's a new tool.
Absolutely.
And maybe we'll feature clusters in 48, hopefully.
Yeah.
So I agree, the looking within.
Yeah.
And this is perhaps something for those agencies out there that might have got a little bit stale with their customers, or for bigger, more established HubSpot installations where they've actually gone some time now and they've got content out there. Looking towards the middle of funnel, I think, is really important. And so the middle of funnel allows you to say, right, let's talk about the content we've got. Let's talk about improving it. Let's look at and analyze what's performing well. Let's look at the blogs that are taken off. What was it about those blogs? And refreshing that content, super important, because it's a super competitive world. I think often our customers forget that, and we certainly have to remind ourselves all the time that you have to be interesting to be read.
Absolutely.
And doing stuff for the sake of it doesn't work anymore.
No.
It's we're not in Kansas anymore, Dorothy. Not that we ever were. Kind of down the beach in Adelaide.
And just on that, the one of the little, I guess it's a small little growth hack that I like to do is on my contact screen, I always like to sort my contact screen with last page seen as one of the properties that I can see. And believe it or not, you start to see a pattern. There's often
pages that are going well.
The pages that are going well, and you sort of go, okay, well, you know, that's obviously what people this week are looking for. You know, whether it's a pattern or it's going to be different next week, who knows? But that always gives me a little bit of a guide as to what people are wanting to know more about.
It's like a real time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's a little bit less about you know, big picture scientific explanations and just looking at what's working at your fingertips. And
one of the great tips that you pulled off throughout the entire time we weren't there in podcast land, we may not get over that, is that you were really smart. You discovered putting hidden fields on forms as a way of notifying you. So just to put you in the picture, listeners, you have a form, and the form has a notification email who gets the email from the form submission. Yep. And so you've put hidden fields on there, haven't you? Tell us about that.
So page views, number of page views, I've put that on forms.
So you've taken that property, put it on forms and hidden it.
Yep. So that then when the form submission comes through to me in my emails, I can actually see the number of pages that. So you, for example, it might be that you've looked at 35 pages of a website. Yep. So that is a really good indication to me that, okay, this guy's new or this guy's looked at lots and lots of information. And so I would then go and have a little bit more of an in-depth look at you and your timeline to see, is it too soon to send you something a little bit further down the funnel?
Yeah, we definitely did a little dance when this came out because it meant that we're able to send relevant HubSpot harvested information to the sales force.
Yes.
They don't necessarily have to be on HubSpot. They can be in the car, on their phone, whatever.
That's
true. But you're able to send that notification email and with it send a payload of data which is helpful for them. Last page visited, number of page views, number of emails opened, obviously phone number, these sorts of different pieces of background information. So that was a really good hack. That was hack of the year.
Hack of the year.
Excellent.
Very good.
Okay, well, we can go all day because we have had a leave of absence, so there's lots of content to talk about, but we are back and we are excited and we are looking forward to more of that. So be tuned where every week, hopefully, and more than likely as we make a big effort now to get stuck into HubSpot and all the things related to HubSpot in 2018.
Awesome, Adam. Good to be back.
Thanks a lot for episode 47 of Hub and Spoke. Take it away, Cecilia.
For all the new shows, check out www.thekingdom.com.au/Hub and Spoke. You have been listening to Adam Steinhardt and Zan Johnson of The Kingdom, an inbound marketing agency from Adelaide, South Australia. HubSpot Platinum Partners and the International HubSpot Partner of the Year 2015.